Hello there and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're just going to basically finish up polishing up the game. I did most of the coding already for this this video. We're just going to go in and basically I'm going to show you what needs to be added and what I fixed. While going through my project, I noticed I spelled get position. Basically I spelled position wrong, so I came in here and fixed it both on the player and AI paddle. So that's all I did for that. That's the first change I made. You can also get rid of this print effect on both of them. We don't really need this anymore. This was just for testing purposes. Next, let's go and get to the audio. And in here, I changed, let's go to 2D side first. I changed the audio or H slider and renamed it to audio slider. Added a script to audio. And I came in here and on value changed, I connected it and set up this simple script here. And this script is basically telling us to take the audio server, set the volume decibel value, and what we're doing is we're going to go in here, get the index of master, which is the only audio interface we have, and set the value to whatever the slider is. If we come here to audio, this is the only audio bus we have. We can come in here and add more buses. Say we have one for sound effects, one for music, and other. I'm not sure what other sound effects you want. Maybe you want to add different layers, like having a audio bus for multiple different audios, like sound effects that might play all at the same time. So that's how you would deal with that. We can close that out. Here in control, I only did one thing. I set the separation on both of these to 0. Wait a minute, there's actually, let me go back to audio. Actually, there's one last thing I actually forgot to mention. I set the min value to -80 and the max value to 0 because if we look here on the audio, our standard volume was probably going to be set to 0 dB, and down here I believe it goes I think all the way to -80, I believe. But basically I set this to better reflect audio. You could technically set the max value to 6, but it might distort your audio or make it just too loud. So I decided to set the max dB to 0. I'm not sure how actual game developers do it. Maybe you want to go and look up a tutorial on how to do that. But that's basically all I wanted to show that I forgot to mention. The controls here I already mentioned, setting the separation to 0 to fix the what is it, like basically white space or like background like bleeding that you saw. And also same thing with these, put separation to 0, separation 0. And the last thing I noticed was in my ball script, we had that problem with the top and bottom of the paddles causing some collision errors. So what I did here was create a simple if statement that says if the velocity or new velocity y minus 16, which is half of the ball, times the scale y of it, and then we come in here and say if it's greater than 64, which is the 64 pixels between the paddle's center to the top and bottom, then we'll tell it that what is it here, velocity, and we call it just a normal bounce function, so we use that instead. So we only use that for the top and bottom. You guys can come in here and tinker around and write your own bounce function, but I thought this would be more appropriate to just use the simple bounce function for that. And then the rest, I wrote an else statement, and then I highlighted everything, and then I clicked the tab button once to order to indent it, make sure it works properly. And last but not least, we have here is the speed here. I came in here and added a clamp value because I noticed I made us create these clamp values, but I forgot to come in here and tell the user to clamp the value between the min speed and max speed. Because I noticed when I was playing, I had a game going where I had the ball going like close to like 1500. It was getting pretty trippy. The ball was just like almost like vanishing. So yeah, you want to clamp it. 1000 I felt was a little slow. You guys can bump it up, but you would have to also, if you were gonna use the shader here, the one I wanted to come in back here and explain what my thought process was. I came in here and we made this value, and this here basically is the alpha value, and that's kind of gonna show how transparent the object looks. So basically my thought process was the lower the speed got, the more transparent I would make the ball, so the user could see that it's like, oh, the ball's not going that fast. But as it gets higher and higher, we hard-coded the max value of 1000 here. You guys can also come in here and add in a separate variable, or I believe you can also export a value and just have it set on the shader resources here and just like have like a shader parameter. But that's basically what I was trying to demonstrate. And with that, I believe this is going to be it for this video. There's one thing I wanted to mention. I'm going to start creating, I believe, a shader tutorial series, because I noticed on the YouTube, if I went and looked for shader tutorials, I felt like there was 1 or 2 shader tutorials, but then the rest didn't seem to go any further than just making a certain effect or something. I looked at the documentation, and even the documentation didn't have too much. The best that I saw was they gave a link to a like shader book on how to do shaders. I might go in and read that whole book and create a tutorial series based off the book, and since I believe it's open source book. But basically, I'm just going to go in and create a tutorial series on how to do stuff in the book, because I felt like there was no good resources for shaders. Maybe there's some good paid resources online that I don't know about, or maybe people just learning the shader book is enough for them. So I think I'm going to go in and try creating a shader tutorial series around the book and see how that goes. If you guys have any questions about this series, or if you want me to make a different tutorial series, like a certain effect you want seen, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll see you on getting on that. With that out of the way, I'm done with this video series. I'll see you guys in the next series. Take care. Bye.